Alright, it's Easter Monday. I'm at a completely different river from the Yellow Creek yesterday. This is called the West Don River. And there's lots of wildlife up and down this river. I've spent days of my life walking along here and exploring these trails and finding all sorts of amazing things in this forest. This is a protected area, but there are some trails. And I'm going to show you more evidence of old world and these caged bricks turned block. So the ground along this side is beautiful sand, silt, sand, really fine, okay, completely dusted. Now here's this, who knows what this is, all right. We've got some old world wall, old world brick still over there, showing itself. So this has survived whatever cataclysm occurred here in this realm. And I was looking for some melt lines, so I couldn't see any, but this is very suspect. Anyway, there's some good evidence down here. And you can see both sides of this river. This looks completely natural. Okay, nice stones and sand. People fish here. I believe this river is stocked. And a really wide variety of wildlife, everything. Deer, fox, coyote, coyotes. But down here, you can start to see another band of that caged brick. And then the caged brick turns rock. And it shows greater erosion, okay? All right, so right there, it's leaning over, and then it just kind of disappears. The melted cooked bricks have fallen out, and then the bank is dustified into this soil, brick ash. You can see beyond it, and I'm going to walk up there and show you. There's these leveled, looks like quarried pieces of limestone right up against more caged brick just to the right of that. Okay, there's the connection right there. So it goes from block to caged brick. And that's at the intersection of another creek called Wilkie Creek. So this is a pretty significant intersection of irrigation historically. And it's all right here. And if we look across, it's just a natural looking river. Nothing to see here, people. Okay, just normal. Okay, except at one point it was blasted to smithereens. All right, let's go take a closer look. All right, so this is the exit of Wilkie Creek into the West Don River. I guess it's called a confluence. And here's this old limestone quarried rock that they would tell us they brought in to help protect the shoreline. Who knows, I'm standing on 1, 2, 3, 4 layers right here. All right, underneath this bridge. But right next to these blocks begins those caged bricks again. Yeah, sorry, this is not very good footage. Oh, I just saw something really cool beneath me. I'll go over there and shoot this side. Take a look here. So I'm standing on these blocks. There's lots of soil and grass on top. I'm sure people would say, yeah, they threw sod down. Okay, maybe. Take a look at these blocks. Take a look at these levels, just like the caged brick from Yellow Creek. And then look, there's more cage. And here I'm standing on a block, and right below it, there's the cage. And there's a cooked brick. Okay? There's one level down. So, I mean, it should be, this could be, you know, just an extent. Sorry, how can I start that sentence again? It would make sense to continue these blocks along here unless these come from that. And there's some, there was something else I was going to show you. Anyway, so this continues along the edge here. It's nicely covered over with There's foliage and grasses. Nobody would really take a second look here. So yeah, I call bullshit. I smell it, I see it, and it's making sense now. It's making a lot of sense. I've stood here so many times looking at the stone and looking at this caged rock, thinking, who the hell did this, and when? And how did they get it so deep into the bank? I mean, it continues way down there. And now it just, I get it now. So we're gonna go take a look down there. All right, here's a really nice example of this tiered, this leveled blockage going on that I actually now think were caged brick, turnstone, and things have shifted. All right, for one, if they brought these in to really secure the bank, why on earth would they leave that like this? All right, that doesn't seem to make sense. Just sitting right there in the edge. It makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, now I do know that about 3 years ago, they closed this off and they brought all this crushed other stone in to hold that shoreline, hold the bank. Maybe they were covering up other evidence. That up there is new, and that continues up the creek some way. But these were always here. And so if they went to the effort to slow down the erosion on this side, then why didn't they do this side? Oh, and look, I didn't even see this. There's more caged brick right there, just hiding beautifully. Would you look at that? 1, 2 layers, 3 layers, and then it's just sand. It's just dustified. Can you see that? Isn't that amazing? Yeah, it doesn't add up. So I think these became those, possibly. I'm throwing it out there. Who knows? But anyway, let's take a look over here. All right, I couldn't really get close to that corner up there. They do a good job at growing foliage, trees, grasses to prevent people from looking around too closely. But check out this whole bank here. This is all this caged melted brick, or not fully melted, heated, expanded, distorted brick. Stuff is growing on it. It's all covered up. You can see it's also tiered. One, another one. So there's 2 levels here. It's all the way down and it ends down there. Let's go take a look and see. And then there's blowout. There's all this blowout in the bottom of the river. Bricks popping out everywhere. All right, just farther downstream, another example here at the curve. All right, that's where the confluence is right there. I'm standing on this old brick, caged brick. All right, it's slowly eroding off right here a little bit, but then look below. All of this ballooned rock. It's turned to rock, and the end of it is right here. And then look, it's just all blown up rock. Okay, I think this is what's been happening. And then it ends, and then it's all this, not quite balloon rock, it's big rock, but it's not quite, you know, rounded. And then it gets really dustified, and then it picks up again up around that curve, so we'll go walk there. And again, the other side, there's no remnants of it, and it's all soft sand. I think there's a connection there. And I know people would say, well, they just brought in all this rock because there's a curve in the river here and they're just trying to protect the shoreline. Yeah, okay, like I get it, but then why not everywhere? And there's other parts where it's curved where there's nothing. So, and if they were really concerned about the shoreline, why would they keep it in this condition and make it sort of kind of not super safe? All right, if a kid stepped in here and got his foot stuck, or like there's pointy pieces of metal, like really? You really want people to be screwing around in this stuff? are you hoping that nobody will really notice? And then it's just all blown out. It's all fallen in. There's some more down there. That's where we're gonna go. All right, and once again, they, whoever they are, do a really good job at hiding the truth or keeping evidence away from casual onlookers. Let's go find our way and take a peek. Just stepped on. All right. So there it starts up again. Hold on, I'm gonna get down here. Look out. All right. Okay. Look out. All right. Cool. All right. So, here it comes up again. You can see the rocks are just falling out of it, the burnt brick. And it just begins. And it's still fairly rectangular, just like at Yellow Creek. And thus it's still standing, it's still upright. Oh, there's some other little warblers over there. And so that must have something to do with it. Once it begins to lose its rectangular prism shape, things really start to fall apart, which makes sense. That's basic stability. All right, so let's just keep looking. All right, so check it out. All the way down. And I've actually found some bricks right in the soil. There's a trail on this side that comes kind of around this mound. I've been suspicious of this mound for a long time. It looks like a conical pyramid, just standing there in the middle of nowhere, well, in the middle of the forest. Anyway, there's some exposed bricks in the dirt coming out right in the middle of the forest up here. I'll try to get over there and show you. All right, so take a look, and just a little bit farther downstream, you can actually see that there's at least 2 tiers there. Who knows how many more originally were standing or there in existence. This pointed hill, it's like a huge mound. And I've always thought if there were no trees on this, and if it was just grass, people would instantly point the finger at it and say, ancient hill mound, and you know, sacred this, and you know, gotta protect that. But I think this is just an old building. This is an old, perhaps even somewhat spirally. It's so conical, it's incredible. And so, who knows, we're just trying to piece this together. Just showing you what I can see here. And again, this side is all sanded out, and it's actually super, super fine, the sand. It's like dust. And then it's a bit grittier down there. And then the other side, the dirt is browner, more coarse, less fried, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? But it is tricky to get here. And once again, they do a really good job at keeping these places really tricky to access. And there's no little foot trail here, and the ground is just full of these little green things. It's a jungle in a couple months. So it's just a good way of keeping curious eyes away from this, I think. All right, the bricks coming out of the ground are just on the other side of this creek of the river. Somewhere down, the trail kind of goes down in behind this little lip here. So I'll head over there. But we're almost at the end of it, and you're gonna see it's just turned to sand. And I'm standing on a sand mound. It's all fine sand. You can still see the general curvature of what probably used to be here. This over here, it's now all blown out. All right, so there's the end of the fenced brick wall. kind of falls apart. We've got a large balloon rock sunken into the sediment, brick ash, and then boom, it's just, oh, a lovely beach. Nice place to take your dog. And look, all of a sudden, you can access the river here and walk right up to it and have a nice look. Okay, you don't have to manage yourself through all this really thick and prickly forest. Okay, and there's barely any sight of that wall. Okay, so we're in the beautiful forested part of this valley. There's a little park here. You've got to walk here, I don't know, maybe 400 meters or so to get here, and tons of wildlife. There's this fun walking trail that a lot of cyclists use for fun. But these are showing through. They're right here. And check out the size of these pines. Or sorry, these are hemlocks. Alright, so they're huge. These are their roots. And these are there. Now there's absolutely zero reason for anybody to dig a little hole and put these in the ground here. They don't serve any purpose for like a bike ramp or making it easier to navigate over these roots for people walking or elderly or kids, like none. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nicely ballooned bricks into rock, old school brick. I don't know where those come from. All right, so there's more up here. Let's go take a look. All right, these are very suspect, middle of nowhere. Okay, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we know what these are, but there's better evidence coming up here. Look at this beautiful forest. Lots going on. Again, very suspect. What was doing there? We're just on a trail in this wooded ravine. All right, so we're coming up to the good stuff here. And oh, what do we have here? Oh, there's some really old heat damaged or something damaged brick coming right out of the earth. Oops. Guess the cleanup crews forgot a few spots. Or missed a few spots. All right, you can see that they've been pushed up probably from the growth of trees, the roots underneath. People walking on it, just basic erosion. Oopsie daisies, there's a few more. I love it. Oh, it's so fun watching these guys. Having a good time?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, now we're coming down to the river. There's an amazing old world train bridge right over there. It's friggin' awesome. That alone is a video or two that I'd like to do one day.